Alright, so Cyberpunk 2077 has been getting some phenomenal quality of life improvements from both patches, but mostly from mods. As the base game still has plenty of weak points in this regard, ranging from minor annoyances to some pretty frustrating experiences. And as I'm sure you've all come to expect, this is the sort of thing that modders excel at addressing. And since this game has a strong mod community with thousands of mods already available, many of which are aimed at improving the quality of life in the game, why not dig through them all and find the best of the best that are compatible with patch 1.6? That includes everything from user interface improvements to entirely new gameplay features to fill voids of the base game. A lot of what we're covering here is going to seem simple, but will make a dramatic impact in the overall experience of the game, especially when combined. So today we're going to be taking a look at the 25 mods to completely overhaul the quality of life in Cyberpunk 2077. But before we do, a brief message from this video's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends has completely taken over the mobile gaming world, bringing a truly impressive, high-budget experience to your phone, allowing you to explore millions of champion combinations and master countless tactics as you take on the wide range of content, including raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches. With hundreds of artifacts to equip and over 600 champions blessed with their own unique skills, you can build your team, develop your champions, and raid your way. With so many champions, it's honestly really hard to pick my favorite, so here's my top 3. Number 1 has to be Calvalax. The most toxic SOB in the entire raid arena, he is all about poison. Number 2 has to be Underpriest Brogni. He might look like he's in a weak state of depression after watching Edgerunners, but he is one of the strongest and most flexible defensive champions in all of raid. Number 3, Jintoro, a very focused legendary class warrior who I honestly just love for the samurai appearance. And this month, Raid just released a new feature, Awakening, and a brutal new dungeon, the Iron Twins Fortress. If you're good enough to take down the Iron Twins, you'll see a huge payoff, being able to awaken your champions, which lets you choose a powerful blessing that can transform how they perform in battle, which looks awesome, and there's a load of variety. But here's their big news. Raid has just released a super-powered legendary version of everybody's favorite champion, Death Knight. The whole Raid community has been waiting for this for a long time, and Ultimate Death Knight is everything that was hoped for. And the best part is, everyone can get him for free just by logging in. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27th, and you'll add Ultimate Death Knight to your collection. It's that easy. There's never been a better time to get started, as both new and existing players can use the DK Rises promo code for a bunch of free items to instantly level your new strongest champion all the way to level 50, 5-star Ascension. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, then you can click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on screen, and you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free champion Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. Also that you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. All of these bonuses will be waiting for you here, and it's that easy. Just click the link in the description, and I'll see you in game. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Alright, so we're going to be covering a lot of mods here that have been making my life a lot easier over the last few weeks, while playing with them and testing them. And from my experience, they all work wonderfully on patch 1.6, just as advertised. So let's start with addressing an annoyance I have with a system CD Projekt themselves are addressing in a future overhaul. That being the NCPD, a system that is quite broken and more of an annoyance than anything right now. So this is where Corrupt NCPD by Nexus Guy 999 comes in, which adds a new NCPD bribe contact to your phone, which allows you to call and bribe the NCPD at any time to remove your notoriety. Something that is more often than not triggered by something out of your control, and becomes more of an interruption than an enjoyable gameplay mechanic. The mod even comes with a native settings UI menu to customize how much you want it to cost per star. So if you're wanting this to be less cheat-like and more corrupt cop immersion, you've got the flexibility to do that. Again, the NCPD system is quite unfinished in the game as of right now, so while we wait for CD Projekt Red to release the NCPD overhaul, this is a nice little quality of life to not be interrupted every time an NPC decides to catch a stray bullet, or if you accidentally drive your truck onto a crowded sidewalk. And when CD Projekt implements things into the latest updates, it's not always perfect. A great example of this is the beautiful but very infuriating toggleable neon rim lights that they added to the bikes in patch 1.6. As for whatever reason, you have to manually turn them on each and every time you get on a bike. So if that bothers you as much as it bothers me, there's a mod for that called Auto On Neon Rims by Darkcopse. This mod very simply makes it so that the neon rim lights turn on automatically when you get on a bike, rather than requiring you to manually turn them on each and every time. I, for one, am glad I can retire the quick tapping of E. And staying on the topic of vehicles and lights, something that has bothered me for a while, especially as someone who frequently tests lighting mods that turn the game into a DC film, is the headlights, which are more like candle lights than anything in the game. So that's what Extended and Improved Headlights by Nexus Guy 999 aims to improve. A mod that allows you to not only tweak the range, but also the brightness and durability of the headlights in the game using a native settings UI menu, turning headlights into actual headlights, and with the improved durability, it ensures they won't leave you in the dark, which this game seems to love to do. So to further address this issue on foot, we've got Simple Flashlight by, once again, Nexus Guy 999. This mod adds a much needed flashlight to the game that can be toggled on and off with a custom hotkey. With how many dark interiors there are in this game, it almost feels like it was designed with a flashlight in mind, and I'd say not being able to see makes for a pretty low quality of life. Take it from someone with bad eyesight. Now, as you could probably expect, this mod also comes with a native settings UI menu, allowing you to customize the brightness, size, softness, range, and color, which adds a bit of personal flavor to this much needed feature. And visibility seems to be a pretty constant struggle with this game. And I would say one of the worst offenders is the scanner or hacking screen. But that brings us Extra Clean Hacking Screen by Kratoes, a simple HUD mod to remove the aggressive green filter and cluttered HUD elements from the scanner and hacking screen, all while keeping the essential elements, giving it a much cleaner and more viewable look, where I can actually see what I'm doing. And if you've ever had issues with being able to see your enemies due to lackluster scopes in the game, I've got something for that as well. Zoomable Scopes by Nexus Guy 999 adds configurable zoom levels to scoped weapons, which can be cycled through for a variable zoom effect while ADSing, offering a overall much more convenient and flexible aiming experience. I personally don't always want to be forced to use a sniper rifle from afar, so this is just a nice quality of life for visibility. And if you're someone playing on a smaller screen or lower resolution, such as on a Steam Deck, something like this could be a literal game changer. It's even fully configurable using the included native settings UI menu, allowing you to customize the number of zoom levels, the amount of zoom, and what weapon groups are supported. This is just a overall nice change to the combat, allowing for some more flexibility on the weapons you can use in certain situations. And if I can zoom with my eyeballs, why not have a variable zoom? Another issue I've always had with the combat in this game is that it disables the ability to use crafting, which is really the only time I would ever want or need to craft things. So if you're anything like me, you'll probably want to install Combat Crafting by Scissors, a mod that lets you freely open the crafting menu during combat by using the dedicated crafting menu hotkey, giving you the freedom to craft ammo, weapons, and clothing as you desire. I always found that disabling crafting during combat was more of a silly inconvenience rather than a balancing thing, as all it really did was stop me from using crafting in general, as I often forget about it when I don't actively need to craft something. So to me, this makes crafting actually useful. And that's not the only weak point to crafting in the game, as it's just generally not a smooth user experience. So let's improve that with Crafting Quality of Life by RMK, which improves the crafting experience in a number of ways. First off, it allows you to recraft iconics at the same quality level, as a number of iconics only allow you to craft them up to legendary, and then you're forced to level them up by upgrading only, meaning that the iconic will quickly become unusable as you level up. Unless, of course, you use a ridiculous amount of components to upgrade the item several times. So this mod will allow you to simply recraft the weapon using the weapon itself as an ingredient, allowing you to properly scale it with you instead of it turning into an iconic paperweight. Second, it allows you to craft mods at lower qualities to ensure that you can continue using mods on lower quality gear, as otherwise you can't slot higher quality mods into lower quality gear. And third, it includes some bonus bug fixes. Crafting definitely needs some love, so this is a nice overall quality of life improvement. Now, back on the topic of iconics specifically, DLC and Iconic Modifiers by Apart adds iconic rarity to more unique items throughout Night City. So with this mod, unique sets such as the techie and corporate sets will have iconic rarity now. This mod also adds the DLC modifier to certain quest items such as V's prologue clothing, which makes the items actually upgradable. But this part of the mod has been made a bit redundant by the transmog system added in patch 1.6. That said, I still love me the iconic modifier to know if something is unique at a quick glance. And something else that really helps to avoid accidentally getting rid of your favorites or unique gear is toggle quest tags by DJ Kovrik, a mod that allows you to toggle the quest tag on items in your inventory and backpack menu with a simple right mouse click, which can be used to prevent an accidental sell, drop, or dismantle on your favorite gear or unique items that you don't want to lose. This is another one of those quality of life features that I really wish was a standard in games with loot like this, and one I really appreciate in Borderlands. And another mod that mixes very well with this, and is another feature in Borderlands, is Mark to Sell by DJ Kovrik, which allows you to mark any item in your inventory as junk, which means you'll be able to sell all your marked items at once using a vendor's sell junk option. It's just a great way to quickly manage your inventory and make it clear what you do and don't want to keep. There's even a bonus option to mark all items which have the same type and quality as the targeted one. So if you have several common rarity items of the same type, they will all get marked as junk, making it even easier to rid your inventory of, well, junk. Now, another mod that will help you quickly get rid of things that you don't want, Adaptive Sliders by DeepBlueFrog, makes it so that quantity sliders are set to max by default for drop, stash, and sell actions, which means you will no longer have to manually adjust the slider each and every time for these bulk actions, which more often than not, you'll want to set to max. For everything else, such as crafting and buying, it keeps the slider at the default value of 1, adapting the defaults to the more likely action to save time. A very simple mod, but one that makes dropping, stashing, and selling a lot more efficient. And we're not done with improving inventory management, as next up is Stash Filters by DJ Kovrik, which adds category filters to the storage menu, as is available in just about every other menu, which makes the use of the stash menu a lot more pleasant rather than frustrating. This is something that definitely needs to be implemented in the base game, as the filter system is already there, just not in this menu. So hopefully we see this added to the stash in the future. The stash is a very powerful feature that is even available from your personal vehicle, but something that isn't and should definitely be is the new wardrobe menu. As if I can access my entire stash, why not my wardrobe? So that's exactly what Junk in the Trunk Wardrobe Access by Darkcopse allows you to do. A simple little mod that allows you to access your wardrobe from your personal vehicle's trunk, just like how you can access your stash, which if you modify your wardrobe outfits as frequently as me, you'll know that the novelty of having a reason to go to your apartments wears off quite quickly. So this is just a nice way to save some time, but in a more immersive way. And if you don't care about immersion, there's always a little bonus mod that does accomplish this a bit differently. That being Wardrobe Anywhere by Nexus Guy 999, which allows you to access the wardrobe menu from anywhere using a custom CET hotkey. This is especially useful if you're someone who lives in photo mode and customizes their wardrobe outfits very often. Which, if you happen to be one of those people, I've got another mod for you. Inventory Zoom by Nexus Guy 999, a mod that allows you to zoom onto your character in the inventory screen using either the scroll wheel or D-pad to better appreciate the details you work so hard on when creating your character. Seeing as third person isn't in the game, I know a lot of you are wanting more convenient ways to better view your character beyond just looking in the mirror. And this allows you to get a closer, more personal view at any given moment. And one I am honestly surprised isn't in the base game. And in the theme of getting a closer look at your character creation is still quite annoying with the amount of fidgeting that V does, even after they addressed it in patch 1.6. So to fix that, we've got Stand Still Please by DJ Kovrik, a mod that better addresses the player character fidgeting in the character creation screen, further limiting the amount of fidgeting so you can focus on the character creation process and not be interrupted by infuriating movements. And another thing that has been improved since launch, but not quite to my full satisfaction, the Shards. So, Hide Red Shards by DJ Kovrik is a simple but necessary quality of life change to the shards found in the game world, which will completely hide not just the marker, but the physical shard itself, so you don't go around recollecting the same shard several times. And shards aren't the only thing with annoying markers. So we can actually configure that to our liking with Muted Markers by DJ Kovrik, which allows you to tweak visibility behavior of some interaction and loot markers using the mod settings menu, which has a load of customization. By default, it does make some changes, with iconic and legendary items now being visible through walls, and uncommon becoming only visible when the scanner is active. But you can change these settings by rarity and type separately, including iconic, legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, common, and shards, with options for through walls, line of sight, scanner, and disabled. There are also additional markers that can be hidden, including access points, body containers, cameras, distractions, doors, explosives, network devices such as computers, and enemies on the minimap, giving you options to not just make your life easier when looting gear, but also hiding less important information that just ends up cluttering your screen anyways. Something that has always frustrated me is that vendors, such as Victor, don't have unique map markers, which is pretty annoying if you're trying to remember a specific vendor's location. So, Real Vendors by DJ Kovrik changes this. One of the most simple mods, but one that is a must for me, as it adds the actual names for the vendors on the world map icons, instead of their generic labels. I feel like the world map in general lacks vital information, and this helps make that less of an issue. And finding your way around Night City is made pretty difficult in general, as another pain point since launch has been the minimap. And while it has come a long way, we can definitely do better with improved minimap zoom by DJ Kovrik, which adds a dynamic zoom for the minimap in a vehicle, configurable zoom for the minimap on foot, and a minimap peak hotkey, which greatly increases the minimap zoom values for all situations. There's also a wide range of customization using the mod settings menu, allowing you to adjust the static zoom values, minimap peak hotkey settings, and the behavior of dynamic zoom, giving you a wide range of flexibility to suit your preference. This is a mod that was essential at launch before they improved the minimap with patch 1.3 and is still a great quality of life improvement to this day. And if you're not much of a minimap person and would prefer not having to look at it at all to find your way to your objectives, you might just love In-World Navigation by Jack Humbert, a mod that adds in-world holographic arrows for quests and points of interest navigation, mirroring the dots on the minimap, including the color coding for the waypoint type, allowing you to keep your focus on the road rather than constantly checking the minimap for directions. It even allows for some customization, including toggling it on and off, changing the display mode, arrow spacing, the max amount of arrows, and the fade distance. And if you don't really care about map markers on the minimap, then you can even disable the minimap entirely in the vanilla game settings to solely depend on the new in-game arrows. I love finding ways to cut down on HUD elements, so this is a great one for me personally. Now, a HUD element that really drives me insane is the tracked quest objective. So that leads us to a complete quest untrack with undo, instant untrack, and track back if needed by AnyGoodName, a super efficient way to toggle the tracked quest using a custom hotkey, allowing you to quickly hide and show the quest's on-screen info, the quest selection in the journal list, and the quest's map guidance. It will also make the element reappear whenever there has been an update to the objective, so that you don't get lost or confused if you're actively doing a quest. Now, if you don't care about a hotkey and you just want a way to untrack the quest in the menus, Simple Untrack Quest by Angelor allows you to do just that, giving an option to untrack the active quest or objective by right-clicking on it in either the journal or on the map marker in the world map menu. A very simple and easy method of untracking if you don't want to use a hotkey solution. And just to be clear, I'm not against tracking things. I just don't want it on my screen 24/7. In fact, our next mod is to track content that is untracked and hidden in the game. That being Missing Persons Fixers Hidden Gems by Darkcopse, which adds 190 new fixer gigs with over 400 plus SMS messages to walk you through finding the 190 hidden gems in the vanilla game. It works by sending you a message from the respective district's fixer who will inform you of a missing persons or hidden stash gig in the area, which will be drip fed to you one at a time rather than overwhelming you with all 190 at once. As soon as you complete one, the next one will trigger. That is, if one is available, as some of them do have prerequisites in the game before they can be triggered, such as quest completion, side gigs, and the NCPD scanner hustles. And while these are mostly just bite-sized info-gathering gigs that are completed by taking or reading shard messages at the location, they often offer up some pretty decent rewards, both in the form of eddies, XP, and street cred, but also in lootable gear at the locations. You'll even receive 2 major rewards once you've completed all of these hidden gigs, which is an added bonus implemented by the mod. Of course, there is also a load of customization options with the included native settings UI menu, allowing you to adjust the wait timer between gigs, toggle hints, auto tracking, waypoints, a gig counter, sorting shards alphabetically, which could be a standalone quality life mod itself, and adjustments to the rewards given. It's just a really convenient way of being able to experience all of this hidden content a lot of which you'd likely miss otherwise, and all while getting rewarded for it in return. This really is more than a quality of life mod, but if you're someone who would search up where to find all this on Google anyways, why not have the quality of life experience by being able to track it in-game? And now our final two mods are related to a very important feature, that being save games. As in the vanilla game, the save and load menus are a cluttered nightmare. So let's first fix this with filter saves by Lifepath and type by RMK, which adds a much needed feature to the save and load menus by allowing you to filter saves by Lifepath and type. That being manual, auto, quick, point of no return, and so on. The saves are a cluttered mess without this, especially if you're running multiple characters at once, so this mod significantly helps in that situation. It also happens to mix very well with named saves by Kovrik, which allows you to add custom text notes to manually created saves. Just simply type whatever you want in the text field at the top and click New Save, which will create a manual save with the note you inputted, which will appear in green. This is something I wish was a regular feature in games, as there are so many use cases I can get out of this, some examples being screenshot locations, cool places I want to come back to for videos, benchmark saves, progression saves, and so on. This will be a literal game changer for me personally to better keep track of my save games, which right now is an absolute mess. And that's the 25 mods to overhaul the quality of life in Cyberpunk 2077. I want to thank all the mod authors featured in this video, as your work means a lot to the community and I've really been enjoying playing with your mods. And a special thanks to DJ Kovrik and Nexus Guy 999 who made up a large portion of this video. Of course, while we covered a lot of mods here, I know I haven't covered them all, so if you think one deserved to be on this list or just in a video in general, let me know what it's called down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to feature it in a future video. And while that's it for this video, there is plenty more Cyberpunk 2077 on my channel to check out if you'd like. The video on the left is one I think you'd enjoy, and the one on the right is a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. But that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, this is Apoqsi, signing off.